Okay, we're going to look at another technique now to help students with math anxiety, and that's called the math autobiography. I'm going to demonstrate what an autobiography might sound like, and I'm going to do my actual math autobiography. There's an instructions sheet there on the page that you can download to actually use with your students. The key thing really with this is trying to find out points back in a student's history where their feelings about math changed. And that could be either where their feelings were feeling better about math, and especially we really want to hit those points where students were feeling worse about math. And you can do autobiographies in several different ways. I've done it before with students where they draw a picture or kind of draw a cartoon. You can do that. You can also do it where they actually will write keyboard in what they feel as well. So you can take this in a number of different directions, but I'm going to go ahead here and bare my soul and tell you about my math autobiography, and you can follow along here on the screen. In my early years in elementary school, I really felt great about math. Math was something I picked up very easily. I'm using this picture here, if you can see, of Horshack and Welcome Back Kotter. He's always had his hand raised, Mr. Kotter, Mr. Kotter. And I kind of felt the same way back in elementary school. I remember even in the 6th grade that we had these different math groups, and myself and one other person were in this independent group where we could go and work ahead because we understood things so well. So that changed dramatically the next year in 7th grade when I decided to take Algebra 1. And looking back, I was just definitely not ready to take Algebra 1 at that time. But since I love math, I went ahead and decided to take it. And the teacher passed out our book the first day of class. And that was really the last thing I understood in class that year, that book was mine and I could have it for the whole year. I just really didn't get it. Of course, I wasn't helping myself any. I wasn't doing a lot of homework or asking for help. But at any rate, my math confidence day after day was shattered and lowered. And each day when I didn't get something and was just feeling badly, my math confidence just really oozed away. I repeated Algebra 1 later in junior high and did understand it some better, but math went for me from a joy to something I really dreaded and just something to get through. I never really understood a lot what was going on. I could mimic sometime what the teacher was doing, but really true understanding was gone, and true love for math was gone. I took what math that I needed to for a college preparatory program, but really just the bare minimum to do that. And my struggles with math continued in college. I had to take calculus and statistics to pass college, and the statistics showed that my chances of doing well in statistics were not very good. I actually received my one and only D in college, or I guess I should do it that way, D in college in statistics, and once again was really totally lost. That really, I can look back, was the point where I realized I needed to make some changes, and so I actually did take the class again. And what I did was, after going to class and not understanding what was going on, I would grab my book and head to a quiet place, usually an empty classroom, and I would have to teach myself what was going on. And that worked, and actually when I took the class the second time, received an A. My attitude really changed when I started working a few years later in an adult basic skills program, and I was excited because I thought, oh man, I'm going to get to teach English and literature and do all these things. But we were in an open drop-in lab type setting, and I quickly realized that about 99% of the questions I was getting were about math. So I really said, I love doing this. I just love working with students. So I'm going to have to change my attitude about math and get to love it and get to enjoy it. And I did. I really worked with myself to change my attitude and put a smile on my face and really sit down and try to learn well the things that were troubling me before so I could explain it to students. And I really think it was a blessing for my poor math skills through school, because struggling in math, I could really relate to students. And so that I think that really helped me as I was able to describe and explain to them what was going on in whatever math they were studying. So I really loved and enjoyed math. That was most of what I taught, and I became really our program's go-to math person. So I think this is really a great thing to do with our students, to really get them to try to go back and understand why their feelings about math changed, and to realize, they're not the same person they were in the third grade when Mr. Johnson told them that they were stupid and would never learn math. So the autobiography is a great technique that I would encourage you to use with your students.